What is going on, everyone? Welcome to iMPACT iNTACT, your favorite bi-weekly show. We are back. It is myself, it is CJ, and we're here to talk about some TNA. Before we get going with all of that, CJ, how are we doing? How is this fine day? Are you in TNA mode?
Yes, I am, Josh. We're a couple days as we're recording this before SummerSlam, but it's all about TNA today.
Summer what? Summer what? I don't know. What are you even talking about? I'm in that much of a TNA zone that I don't even know that there's SummerSlam. By the time you guys hear this, both nights of SummerSlam will be completely over. It'll be out of your mind because, well, we all have memories of a goldfish around here in this day and age, so we'll be on to the next thing. As soon as SummerSlam is done, it leaves my brain, unfortunately. Well, maybe not unfortunately. Maybe unfortunately. I don't know. It depends on...
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. It might be unfortunately. It might be fortunately. Who fucking knows? But yeah, it's all. Wrestling is just moving at a very rapid pace lately. Where I'm just like, whoa, what day is it? What am I watching next? It's just wake up and see what's on. To be completely honest with wrestling, that's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. It's good in the sense of just like I just enjoy it at the time, and then it's gone. I never think about it again until I have to.
It almost gets to the point where I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm probably on a watch along or gonna watch a watch along or there's something going on, and then I'm like, wait, there's not. I feel like weird. I'm like, it's like 6 o'clock at night and no one's hit me up. Did I miss something? Did I?
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for like I have like on my phone, I get like little Netflix notifications when wrestling goes live. You know how it tells you like, oh, this is now live. I just wait for that, and I'm like, okay, cool, yep, that's right, I'm doing that today. And homeboy, I run fucking watch parties on this fucking site, so that's how unorganized I am. But I mean, there's just wrestling at this point. I just assume wrestling is on until I'm told otherwise. That's how wrestling is.
Assuming it's happening, and then I get like surprised. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, wait a minute, I don't gotta watch wrestling right now. But you know, something that can power you through wrestling, CJ, is of course W Energy. And this episode of iMPACT iNTACT is, of course, brought to you by W Energy. No sugars, no jitters, no crash, just smooth, focused energy to keep you locked in, whether you're gaming, whether you're running watch parties, whether you're trying to stay up to watch the wrestling, or waking up to watch the wrestling like I do. W Energy can help, and we can help you get a little bit of a discount on W Energy. If you go to w.gg and use the code THEHIVE, all one word, you can get 10% off your order of W Energy. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're not listening to the audio version, you're just watching on YouTube, it'll scroll at the bottom of the show, and you can get some nice clean energy to get you through. I have some coming and it hasn't arrived yet, but when it does arrive, I will kind of let you guys know. I know, CJ, you've been saying on the Swarm, are you still awaiting your...
I am. It's a power punch, I believe. It's fruit punch, essentially flavored. Still has not came in.
Yeah, I got like the Japanese soda one.
Okay, yep, I've seen that one.
I was like, oh, that sounds. I'll get that. Let's see how that tastes. But I'm waiting for it still.
I'm a little girl when it comes to like flavors of food or drinks. Like I go very like pizza. I'm like cheese pizza with like ice cream. I'm vanilla or chocolate.
You just go with comfortability.
Right. So like drinks, I'm like fruit punch or blueberry like flavor. That's it.
Yeah, I do a lot of like raspberry flavored drinks because it's just like I know that I'll like it.
Right.
So if grape is like a big thing for me too. Yeah.
If I'm trying like a new energy drink or a new drink, I want to try the flavors I know. If I like the product, I will like that flavor. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. But we'll both try it. A couple more people in the hive. It's on the way to them. So we'll let you guys know how it tastes. I'm pretty certain that I will like it because it's funky and like a little bit out there, and I usually like stuff like that. But use the code THEHIVE, all one word, when you go to w.gg, and you can get 10% off your order. We both use the code because, well, why wouldn't we? Yeah. We wanted to save money. Like, what the hell? So it would be silly if you're thinking about getting some and not using the code at this point because, like, what? I will judge you about that. I will judge you. Something else we're going to judge today is TNA Sacrifice 2009. This is the first time on this show that we're focusing on anything from the year of 2009. We've done 2008, done 2010, we've done 2015, but we've never headed to the year of 2009. TNA Sacrifice took place on May 24th, 2009 at the TNA Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. It was the 5th Sacrifice of its inception, since its inception. And there were 8 matches on this card. The card runs for around about 2 hours and 50 minutes, just under 3 hours. And we're going to run down everything on TNA Sacrifice 2009. This is the second time we're focusing on a TNA pay-per-view in its history. Of course, we did Slammiversary 2012, 13, I think. 2013, yeah. So this is the second time we're focusing on a pay-per-view. Now, the last episode of iNTACT, which for some reason you guys went bonkers over and fucking loved, was the TNA debut of JWoww. And that was a part of the worst episode of wrestling I think I've ever watched in my entire life, personally. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but I genuinely think it was the worst wrestling episode I've ever watched. It was bad. So coming into this show, off of the last TNA show that I watched, I don't have COVID anymore, which is really lovely. So that helped watching this show as opposed to the last one. And I'm pretty certain any of these wrestlers could have had any more than a 4-minute match, and I would have been like, this is Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't know if that actually hinders what we're about to talk about or helps it. I don't really know, because again, the last thing of TNA I watched was literally the dirtiest dirt I've ever dirted in my dirt. So it was bad, as everyone knows. But we do thank you for last week's episode, 2 weeks ago's episode, because like I said, I was like, what the hell? Why are so many people liking this damn episode of iNTACT? It was so bad. But we had a good time with it. I think we're kind of getting our feet wet with this show now a little bit more, and learning to kind of swim in it. And
or drown,
it's just, well, it's just the style of this show, I think, is going to benefit from shows like that. But also, we want to kind of explore the best and the worst of TNA. There's going to be episodes where we do the worst of the worst, but there's going to be episodes where we do kind of the best, because we are kind of, I guess, ever in search of like what is really the best episode of iNTACT ever, or the best TNA pay-per-view ever, or whatever. And I don't know if you guys know this, but so I think we've said on this show before, CJ doesn't really choose too many of the shows because it's a little bit hard for him to do, because like he just doesn't have that much knowledge of TNA in his lifetime where he's like, oh yeah, well, let's watch this one. I do, and listen, I don't remember every single thing that takes place on every single show. That's insane. But sometimes, some weeks I just go, I'm going to pick this one. That was this one. There was no rhyme or reason why I picked this show, other than sometimes I do like to try and pick ones that are also on, not just on TNA Plus, but on the TNA YouTube.
Yeah.
This was on the YouTube because then everyone can kind of access. I'm not going to do that every week. We have TNA Plus subscriptions for a reason. But this one's on the YouTube. So if you go to TNA, I think it's TNA Wrestling on YouTube, you'll find this pay-per-view. So everyone can watch it, but if not, if you want to prefer to use your TNA Plus, if you've got that TNA Plus annual subscription, some people do, then you can go to the TNA Plus. But you're going to look up TNA Sacrifice 2009. Now, as we know, the format of this show, CJ kind of runs down the matches here. I chime in. We got a few little backstage segments as well. But this one is obviously a TNA pay-per-view, so it is match heavy. Although, I will say, there's some gems of some backstage segments. I will say that. So, kick us off, CJ. What did we kick off here at TNA Sacrifice 2009?
I just want to know, you said there were 8 matches, but there was a pre-show match. Amazing Red, who came back from an ACL surgery, he fought in the pre-show. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Good for him.
Kurt Angle, we see Kurt Angle and Mick Foley arriving to the arena in much different vehicles, I need to point out as well.
Yeah, much.
But then we get into
Mick Foley couldn't shut his door, by the way.
Oh, jeez. See, I'm sure it's like obviously scripted that he comes in this dingy car, but I could see Mick Foley actually have been his car.
Yeah, it looks like a Mick Foley car. So we should say the main event for this show is being advertised heavy for this show. Yeah. It is Sting, Mick Foley, the TNA World Champion, Jeff Jarrett, and Kurt Angle. So it's a 4-way ultimate sacrifice match. So if Sting was to be pinned, he would leave TNA. If Angle was to be pinned, he would lose ownership of the main event Mafia to whoever pinned him. If Foley was to be pinned, he would lose the TNA World Championship to whoever pinned him. And if Jeff Jarrett got pinned, he would lose his TNA like what was it, stock? He owned stock.
He lost his vote on the board.
Voting power. That was the word that they used. My bad. Voting power.
Forget that.
The voting power. So they're all sacrificing something. So that is what they they fucking smash this out, as they should. It's their main event, whatever. Sure. But yeah, Mick Foley is the TNA World Champion in the year 2009. Just want to put that one out there. But anyway, go on.
Our first match of the night, Josh, is Lethal Consequences, which of course is Xavier Woods, as we now know him as Consequences Creed, Jesus, with Jay Lethal and Eric Young take on the Motor City Machine Guns and the man now known as Daivari.
Yes.
Sheikh Abdul Bashir.
Yes. So, few things to note before we get it. So this was, I did note on commentary that they said this is a special bonus match. Sure. So their opener is a special bonus match. So I guess this wasn't announced ahead of time. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, those little young whippersnappers. God, they look like babies in this one. I mean, this was quite a while ago, but they look like little brothers.
They're in a World Tag Title match this weekend still, 16 years later.
I know. We're just hours, as this is airing, friends, we are just hours after they probably had the match of the weekend at SummerSlam. So,
ladder match.
But they are the New Japan. They're something. They're the tag IG
junior.
Junior.
They have so many titles over there.
I don't know. They have. They're
definitely.
Yeah, I think that was I think that's what they were. But I don't really remember too many times in my life. Maybe I'm just thinking about it in a generalization. But the Motor City Machine Guns were never really heels that much. But they're heels here because they're with Bashir, so they're heels. Also looking like a young whippersnapper is one Mr. Consequences Creed, Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's looking young. I actually genuinely thought this match was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a fun.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was a fun opener. I always have a love-hate relationship with not the look of the Impact Zone, but the crowd itself, because sometimes they're really great, sometimes they're not. That's just I think that's just a kind of a little bit of a consequence of where they are.
It's
because
kind of like the NXT thing, because it's the same people almost every week.
Well, I actually think it's kind of the opposite there, because Universal Studios, people are just walking around and they're like, "Oh, cool! I'll just go to TNA."
I'm sure you coaster and then they pop into the.
I'm sure you have your regulars that live in Orlando that are always there, but I think there's just some weeks they're really good because it might be just more of a wrestling crowd, and then other weeks it's just here comes Jane and Jack, and they're just gonna watch wrestling, and they're like, "Cool, where's Stone Cold Steve Austin?" That's what they're kind of getting into.
Show, luckily for them.
Well, yeah, bang bang. So yeah, but this was a fun match. I can't really. There was a lot of cool spots. It was very X Division. It was very. It was honestly. These kind of matches are the ultimate kind of explanation for where the business is now, because it seemed like more of a now kind of formula. There was a lot more. It was just fast paced, young guys running around.
Dynamite.
Well, it happens weekly on Raw, to be completely honest.
That's what people think of as Dynamite's just 1,000 miles per hour every match.
It's just wrestling now.
It's a very 2025 match.
Yeah, and it just seems like the ultimate kind of transition from where we were to where we are now. It was just very fast paced. There's a lot going on. Crowd was loving it. I was enjoying it. I was like, cool opener. Right. So if we're gonna have a bonus match that wasn't announced as your opener, interesting choice. But I thought it was fun. But you can give your thoughts. Take us into the finish.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun match. Like you said, it was a very 2025 match. It happened. It almost looked like you were watching it fast forward on your VCR back in the day. But Creed Lethal and Eric Young got the win after. Lethal did a over the top rope what do you call a driver type of thing for a pin, rolled into a pin, and then Bashir grabbed the top rope to avoid being flipped into the pin, and the referee Andrew Thomas, I believe his name was, just kicks the shit out of Bashir's arms off the rope. Lethal rolls him into the pin for the 1-2-3.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too. Is that ref was like, "You ain't fucking
He's like,
cheating
"I'm not
on
doing
my
this
watch,
shit."
bitch."
Yeah.
No, absolutely fucking not. He was like, "Absolutely not." But yeah,
and then,
fun match. I thought. No, you go.
Yeah, and then Eric Young kind of looked pissed off that the referee helped him cheat to win, or in his head, cheat to win. So he looked a
Yeah.
little confused and irritated, and commentary played into that. And then he kind of didn't celebrate with Creed and Lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
It was a fun match, though.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. But anyway, we'll move on here to probably video package number 7 at this point.
Oh yeah. It's worth noting, we will talk about it obviously, but we get a one-on-one with everybody in the main event at some point during the show with Jeremy Borash.
JB, Jeremy Borash.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen yet. We kind of go right. We got a video package, and then we kind of go right into the first ever Knockouts Monster Ball match. Josh.
Yeah, they did this match fucking dirty with the way they did that video package. They're like, there will be blood, there will be all this, and then
gonna get murdered on live television.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Now listen, I don't think this was actually a bad match. I just think they did it a disservice by doing all that, and they didn't really deliver because it was quick. But Taylor Wilde went one-on-one with Daphne, who was with Abyss and Dr. Stevie. They did have in the video package, they're talking about how Dr. Stevie, who's basically Abyss's therapist.
Stephen Richards for everybody listening.
Oh, yeah, Stevie Richards, yeah. But Dr. Stevie was like, you need to transfer your aggression and put it into Daphne now, because Daphne's going to be in this Monsters Ball match, and Abyss is like, all right. He's like pulling his hair. I actually really like the Abyss character here. Like, it's cool. It's very, like, deranged and just, it's just a bit wacky, and I'm very into that. This was when I was really digging Abyss. Shout out Daphne, rest in peace, of course. This business did her dirty, horribly. I don't know if you know the story of TNA Daphne and a lot of the stuff that she went through in TNA, and wasn't treated really that greatly in TNA. It's probably a conversation for another day, but for anyone that doesn't know, do a little bit of research and you'll find out about how she did a lot of things for the company and wasn't really taken care of by the company. Medically and all of that kind of stuff. So, but this is a Monsters Ball match. For anyone that doesn't know what a Monsters Ball match is, it's basically just a street fight, hardcore match. It's just TNA's equivalent. Abyss was kind of the man that kind of, waved the flag of the Monsters Ball match a lot. It was a crazy match. There was a lot of great Monsters Ball matches, still is to this day. But this was the first ever time the knockouts were in it. Now, listen, there was weapons in this. There was like a hockey stick. There was a trash can. There was a fucking cooking sheet. Yeah, like, the thing that I'll note before I let you kind of take over and then go into the finish is that cooking sheet fucking whacked Daphne over the head about 4 or 5 times, and that last one got her directly in the face. It wasn't on the head. It was directly in the face, and it made this god-awful noise. I was like, holy hell.
Yeah, they didn't hold back here. Literally, like you said, it was pretty solid for the 3 minutes and 33 seconds I have it written down as. I literally wrote my first line is this one was fun regardless of how little time it got.
Yeah.
Daphne kind
of... If this one was like 3 minutes longer, I think this could have been a lot more fun. There would have been a lot more sports. But these girls were like, we got to get as much shit in we can in 3 minutes.
That's a common theme of the 6 episodes we've had of this show is, except for one episode, the knockouts kind of cook despite getting 5 minutes or less every time, it seems like.
That was why I fell in love with TNA so much, is because the knockouts were delivering in. People act like the knockouts were getting 15-minute matches every week, and that wasn't the case. They were still treated as women in the business, but they were just doing a lot more with their little bit of time that they have, as opposed to WWE, where they weren't allowed to throw a fucking closed fist.
Yeah. Jesus. Anyway. The spots you referred to, Wild Taylor kind of threw a trash can over Daphne's head and just walled through the hockey stick. Like Daphne's head took a fucking beating in this
Daphne
match for the 3 minutes.
Yeah, Daphne did not. I think my mission maybe of this whole show is to introduce you to Taylor Wilde and how great she was, because you probably haven't seen. Yeah, I don't think you've seen.
No, I haven't seen like a prime though.
No, like you didn't see a lot of like Taylor Wilde was like doing shit, and I was like, God, this girl, and she just never. She had her moments in the sun, but she just never was really like the the mainstay of
Right.
anything, and it's just like, why? She's even in this little match. I'm like, she can go. Like, she can go.
And a completely different style match too.
Yeah.
But like she would obviously Daphne's perceived to be the monster, hence why she's with Abyss and Dr. Stevie and the whole Monsters Ball thing. But Taylor Wilde was actually like the more aggressive and with the weapons and shit in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So she kept clobbering her with a hockey stick with the trash can on top of her, and then she gets the finish on like a fireman's carry, and then like dumps her onto the trash can for it. Landed very awkward.
It's like, oh my god!
It was like in
obviously,
the ropes, kind of.
It was like in the turnbuckle, because this is still 6 sides at this point,
Right.
everybody. This isn't a 4-sided ring, but it was in the turnbuckle. But obviously when they do like a spot like that, the trash can kind of like crumbles because they land in the middle, and that's that. It's like whatever, pretty standard spot. Right. She landed on like the edge of like the bottom of it.
Like in the rope. It was very
And I was like, it looked like it would hurt a lot more than if the trash can was just to do the gimmick. But I was like, oh, and then they went to that. I was like, that's the finish. Okay, cool. Whatever. But it looked gnarly. I was like, oh, that would hurt a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't like a normal, oh, you just land in the middle of the trash can, let's pin you thing, which doesn't look like the craziest spot, but it was like half of the rope, so it was very awkward. So yeah, Taylor gets the 3 count, and then Stevie comes in and then helps Daphne kind of take over Wild. And then Stevie gets a bag of thumbtacks and kind of directs Abyss to come choke slam Taylor into the thumbtacks. and then Abyss is kind of like nah. And then Stevie just slaps the shit out of him twice.
Yeah, he does. He slaps the absolute fucking piss out of him.
And then Abyss picks up Taylor, and then Lauren comes down. Shout out to
our girl.
The first ever episode of this show.
I think it was the second, wasn't it? She was the part of the Vegas episode.
She was in legitimately 15 segments in that show.
Yeah, and I was like, this is our girl. This is our fucking home slice.
But they also, commentary talks about how she used to be Taylor's sorority sister, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember that lore, but
no, but they said it. I don't remember either, but they did say it a couple of times. They did, right? They did say that?
Yeah, no, they did. I don't remember that lore, though. I was like, okay. When she first ran down, I was like, who's this?
Yeah, I didn't.
And then then when she got in the room, I'm like, that's homegirl Lauren from Vegas. I'm like, yes.
Like, she's out of Vegas. She's in Florida. She finally got a flight.
So yay.
But she begs Abyss not to do it to her. And didn't they say like she's Abyss's like girlfriend or something?
Well, Abyss perceived her as his girlfriend. He loved Lauren. Okay. I do remember that. I remember that little thing of like Abyss was crazy, and like obviously we don't go too far into the future, but I think at one point they actually get together. Like Lauren comes around to it. But basically what happens is Stevie shoves Lauren, and then he's gonna hit her, and Abyss is like, bitch, don't fucking do that.
You ain't doing that.
Don't fucking do that. So he throws Taylor Wilde down, and he ends up choke slamming Stevie.
Well, you missed it. Stevie whips his ass with his belt twice.
In the face.
Yes.
The belt is like folded up, and he whips it right in the fucking neck of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would make me choke slam you through a fucking thing of thumbtacks, you asshole. But he choke slams him into the, and then he, he's bleeding through his white shirt. Isn't it funny I wore a white shirt for that night?
Shout out to Red
and Daphne's like, what the fuck? But this is the start of the post-match beatdown. Get ready for it to happen again. Multiple times. Because that is the theme of the night. Holy.
And another theme of the night. The main eventer is getting interviewed by JB. Here's the first one, Josh.
Jeremy Borash.
Jeff Jarrett is with Mr. Borash. Borash says...
wait. First, we have to note, sorry to interrupt. Sure. We have to note, we had to text a certain to a certain number to get the spoilers on who's going to be on Impact this coming Thursday night. A brand new knockout and 2 former world champions will be on Impact this Thursday. And all you have to do is just text TNA to 81869 or something like that, and they tell you just exclusively for the pay-per-view audience. I was like, wow, I can't wait to text that number. And it was completely free of charge. He said they won't even charge you for it. You just send the text. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I noted that in my little thing of like, that's the one. I don't take notes, you know me, but that was the one thing I'm like, I have to talk about that because that is I mean, that's very 2009. I mean, when you think about it, 2009, Twitter, was that around?
Maybe just, but like just.
Like it really was just like MySpace was done, but like Facebook was just really like getting
Facebook
into
was
the role
cooking
of
around. I was
yeah,
13. Yeah, I was.
yeah,
You would
yeah.
always
We
see when
both
your friends
were.
were on Messenger, and oh yeah, let's
Mm,
message them. Yeah, that was
yeah, like
crazy.
Facebook would have just been so
Have
like
you used
social
AIM Messenger?
media. So well, maybe social media was not really like a thing in
No,
2009. So I
no, no,
guess
no,
you did have
definitely
to text TNA to this number to get spoilers, but it felt very 2009.
not. Sure. The commercial was very 2009.
Yeah.
Oh, the ad. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett's with Mr. Jeremy Borash, and Borash said this isn't the first time Jarrett's gonna have to sacrifice some things because he sacrificed everything to begin TNA over 7 years ago, Josh.
It's true. Took out a mortgage on his house.
He did. Borash was like, I remember when he was there when he signed the paperwork for the mortgage or something. He's like, I remember when you did that.
It's like, okay.
Okay. And then Jeff stands up because it has to be, he really means business when he's
Oh,
standing
yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah.
He says there's no tomorrow and everything comes down to tonight throughout his whole career. He says he can't make a single mistake because if he does, it'll cost him everything his entire life has come to. And he says as long as Foley is, this kind of plays into what I thought was going to be the finish when he said he doesn't care what happens, kind of like as long as Mick Foley's the champion, the company will keep going backwards, and nobody can afford that. So that's his sole objective, is to make sure he's not the world champion after tonight. So he didn't really say he was going to make sure he was the champion after tonight.
Yeah, he
So
just
I
wanted
thought
to
that
make
was going
sure
to
that.
come into
Yeah.
the finish when he said it, because he made sure he didn't say I'm going to take it from him.
Yeah, he just wanted to make sure that he was no longer the world champ.
We have the dumbest fucking match I've ever seen in my life coming up next.
You
Not
don't
the
even.
match. Not the match.
The actual action inside the ring
It was
was
fine.
fine.
I
was
wanted
fine.
to punch my fucking TV, Josh. I'm sorry.
I do want
Oh my
to.
God.
This is something that's very TNA, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it because
Please.
it was like a staple of TNA. So they had the video package. A lot of times it was voiceover as well, which
Right.
I actually kind of like. It kind of made it a little bit different from WWE.
Very funny voice, by the way.
Yeah, it's very like, this is
Oh,
TNA
this is
wrestling.
TNA.
Cross the line. It's very like that, but they like kind of dubbed it over. What I wanted to talk to you about is like when they go out of the video package, they always have this like these random facts about the match, like kind of like the
in
lore.
that red lettering. It was like bloody.
Yeah, that was like a TNA staple on pay-per-views for a long time. They always kind of went from the video package, and then they would have the graphic of the match, like this is who's fighting, and then they'd.
By the way.
Yeah. And then they had like the lore about the match. Do you like that kind of presentation?
I don't mind it. It's a little different, but like when WWE's in the last 2 years with the Royal Rumble during the match, they have the stats on the bottom and stuff like that. And like the pre-match shots, I fucking love that stuff. So the premise of it, I like it, but maybe if it was more like stats and not like storyline shit, maybe it would be like, I don't know, like Christopher Daniels is 2-1 against Suicide all time or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Or like a mix between the two or something like that.
Right.
I liked it. I did think
I did like the idea.
it wasn't really getting done in wrestling in that it wasn't like innovative in the sense of like, oh my God, it's going to change wrestling. But it was just like a nice little, that was a very TNA thing to do. But yes, we do have Christopher Daniels and Suicide for the TNA X Division Championship. Now, usually I don't do this, but this whole segment from like entrance to the end of everything was like 20 minutes.
Yep.
But you can take us through whatever the fuck happens here.
I don't. The match was cool. It was two good wrestlers. Obviously, I put maybe the best or second best in-ring match of the night if we had a real finish. If it had a real finish.
In ring. By the way, the whole story of this match is that everyone was like, Suicide is Christopher Daniels. It's the same, like Christopher Daniels is Suicide. And then it all got like, you know, they were in the ring at the same time. They're like, what? And then Don West said the funniest thing on commentary in the video package, though. He says, I know that's Christopher Daniels in that Suicide mask, but who's wearing a Christopher Daniels mask right now? And I was like, that's so ridiculous. Hell yeah.
Don West of a comment. Yeah, we kind of get a good back and forth. Like I said, it was not much to the match other than it was very good in ring. But then we get towards the finish. Chris Sabin comes out to distract the referee. Alex Shelley they kind of have an angle where they're behind Sabin, who's looking into the ring from the stage, and he's yapping to the ref and everybody else. Suicide. Alex Shelley comes in from the back, so the right side of the ring, I guess, takes out Suicide. Chris Sabin is like, all right, fine, and then walks out. Referee's back. Christopher Daniels is like, what the hell? Pins him, rolls him up, gets the 3 count. He celebrates with the title. Ref holds his arm up. Daniels grabs the mic, says, I don't know what happened. I have nothing. You always know Motor City Machine Guns are doing some nefarious shit. I had nothing to do with it. If the referee is okay with this, I'd like to have a 5-minute match to determine the champion. And by the way, real quick, I have a few things wrong with this. The referee just like let Christopher Daniels do it. He's like, all right, whatever, and didn't acknowledge that he cheated. So he could have just said, no, we're restarting the match. You just admitted to cheating. And then why are you even at what Suicide could be like, no, okay, take the title. I don't want 5 more minutes to win the title back. Or is he gonna say no?
So
And
stupid.
then they reset the timer. We kind of just get false finishes for 5 minutes for the most part. It's about 14 pins if I had to guess those 5 minutes. And then we get a countdown for the final minute on the screen. We get 17 different pins. Obviously, no one wins. And then Christopher Daniels gets handed the title with a referee because the match is a draw. So the first result is Christopher Daniels wins is still intact. And then Christopher Daniels hands Suicide the title and shakes his head and walked out of the ring.
This is the ultimate explanation for everyone being like, TNA is so great, and then they do something so fucking terrible that you go, this company will die tomorrow. Why? What the fuck? Okay, why not just have Suicide win?
Or just have Daniels, if you don't want to turn him heel and say he's with the Motor City Machine Guns, just that match goes on and you just have a rematch on the next TNA episode.
Or you have Daniels catch the Motor City Machine Guns trying to cheat and be like, no, and then Suicide rolls him up or something like that, and then Daniels like, oh, fuck, why did I do this? And then you lean into that. Like, just so stupid.
Even if you want to do like a cloudy finish, just have the referee be like, you just acknowledged the cheating, you're disqualified and lose. At the very least.
So stupid. You could have had anything happen other than this. This was like the worst possible outcome that you could have. What a waste of my fucking time.
We got 3 decisions, none of which was Suicide winning, and he ends up with the title.
Waste of my motherfucking time. I understand where this storyline is going, everyone, before anyone says to me, but you have an impact. Yeah, but okay, if you stopped watching TNA right there, if you never watched TNA, you would just think, well, Daniels just handed Suicide the title.
I just want to point something out, and this is not really a spoiler, but it is what it is. The 2 champions are the world title and then the X division, right? On the men's side would be like their US title, Intercontinental title. The 2 world champions lost their matches and kept the titles.
I know, it's really, really weird. It's a really, 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 really weird
It's so TNA to have the best in-ring match of the night and just have that finish.
It was just really, really, really what a waste of my damn night watching that. But anyway, let's move on from that bullshit.
We do have a match with a finish, at least here. Josh, coming up. The Knockouts title is on the line. Angelina Love is defending against Awesome Kong with Raisha Saeed by her side.
Yeah, in what fucking world is Awesome Kong a babyface? Shit sucks. It doesn't work. Work. Anyway, but Angelina Love, Awesome Kong murdered the rest of the beautiful people, Velvet Sky and Cute Kip. They're dead now. So they're no longer with us. So Angelina Love is on her own, which is really weird in TNA history. Like, I know we had that episode a few weeks back where they were feuding the beautiful people, but for the most part, if you see Angelina Love, you see Velvet Sky.
I think this is the first time I've watched the TNA program where she was by herself.
Yeah. I guess they were feuding, but they were with each other in a sense because they were in the segment together. Shout out Stone Cold Velvet Sky, of course. We'll never forget you. But Angelina Love is the Knockouts champion. Now, I think I said on episode a few weeks back, because they were in the segment that we watched. The reason we watched that episode is the JWoww segment. I think we were always saying, like, I always kind of said Angelina Love was like the wrestler of the group.
Right.
She was always like the Knockouts champion. Not to say that Velvet Sky wasn't or whatever, but like she was always the one that at least originally, that was positioned as like she will be the Knockouts champion. She's like the kind of staple. Even though I think they were equals, there was just like one was wrestling more than the other.
You can be like an equal, but like Velvet was more like an equal in like a leader sense and not like a winning championship sense.
Sure. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was a child And I don't really have that many memories of the actual like, work rate and whatever. But I actually thought Angelina Love. I didn't give her enough credit. I'm not
She's
saying
not
she
bad.
was. I didn't. I'm not saying she's Bret Hart.
Right.
But like, I just think I always just thought they were characters and they weren't really very good wrestlers. But
Oh
she
yeah.
was in this match. I actually thought she was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, she's not like all I ask. Like, if you're a good character, that you're not offensively bad in the ring, and she's not even close to being
Passable.
offensively bad.
Is your
Right.
passable? I'm cool. Like I
It's
don't
fine.
need you to be a
We
masterpiece in
talked
the
about
ring.
EC3. Oh boy, in the past.
Yikes.
Yeah, she's
And
not
I
bad.
mean, you're wrestling Awesome Kong, who again isn't. She's a powerhouse. She's not a technical wrestler. Like she's a beast. That was her. She didn't need to do anything else other than just be Awesome
Beat the shit
Kong.
out of you. Yeah.
So it's hard to, especially when in the sense of like Awesome Kong is the babyface of this match essentially.
Kinda, yeah. Yep.
Even though she was cheating and stuff, but she was the babyface. But there was one gnarly spot that I noted in this match, and that was that Awesome Kong did a spinning back fist to the ring post, and I was like, "Oh, that would hurt." I was
Luckily,
like,
she has those
"Yikes!"
like big padded gloves at least a little bit.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but yeah, she just kind of the whole match is just her killing Angelina Love.
Like I would say about I have it down for 556. I'd probably say 3.5 of that were outside of the ring. A lot of it as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of outside the ring, a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah.
But it was. I didn't think this was necessarily bad.
It's another case of it being 5 or 6 minutes, and it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I didn't think it was anything to sing home about, but it was
No.
fine. I thought it was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. The finish was a bit kind of annoyed me a little bit. I'm not
Did
gonna
they?
lie.
They didn't note what the spray was. They just kept saying spray.
And they kind of took a minute to acknowledge it too. Mike Tenay didn't
I was
kind of
like,
say
I
until
was like,
she
is
was
there
in the
something in her
pin.
hand? I was like, are we gonna?
It was like I noticed it was hairspray, but that was just
Yeah,
because I was
okay.
looking at it. But if you didn't like Mike Tenay didn't say it until she was about 2 in the fall, so it was just weird. But Raish Sadie got up, and then they did the spot where like Angelina's standing there looking at it, and then Awesome Kong comes running, but then Angelina moves and she hits it, and the referee's looking at Raish Sadie. She sprays her with hairspray, and it does a schoolgirl and beats Awesome Kong that way, and I'm like, oh man,
As you mentioned earlier, we get an absolute fucking pummeling after the match.
beat down Central after this.
Awesome Kong just hit
It
her
was
with
the
a pressure
ultimate
before
kind
time.
of like it just reeked of like how do we make this person look strong whilst losing. I just don't think beating Awesome Kong that way is doing her any favors personally.
Nope, it
I don't
doesn't
think you
do
should
either
be
one of them,
beating
to be honest.
quote unquote big people like that.
Because their characters, they're just too strong and too big for you. Why can't she just flip her out of the fucking pin?
Yeah, and like I guess there's an argument of like how can Angelina Love it's really hard when Angelina Love is a heel fighting
Yeah,
Awesome
that's
Kong who's a babyface, and then you've got to try and win somehow. You got to try and keep the title on Angelina somehow without making Awesome Kong look stupid, but in turn it kind of make Awesome Kong look weak. It was just really, if she was a heel and a babyface doing this, there's different ways you can kind of do this that she kind of like. Maybe it was more so even if you're going to do a roll up of some kind, that wasn't the roll up to do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It was just really mismanaged. But then they did the beatdown, and I was like, here we go again with another beatdown, and I was like, this was just like, how can we make Kong look good?
At one point, they had Awesome Kong miss a leg drop. Like Love rolled out. I feel like because
I think it was a splash, wasn't it?
Yeah. She got the leg drop, faked the pin, got up before they could count to 3.
Yeah,
Like Kong wanted to do more damage, then she did the splash.
splash. Yeah,
If she did a corner leg drop, I think if you're talking about the roll up situation, especially if Angelina's a heel at this point, you have her like miss the leg drop, but like Angelina's like holding the ropes maybe, and then
just
them right before the ref sees it, and then they gets a 3 count.
yeah.
Like
So
that.
if you're gonna be cheat, I always think that of like these
Especially
kind of
if
situations.
The person getting pinned is the powerhouse. You're holding the ropes as leverage, so they can't push you out. Like, it's
Yeah,
just-
and then you have Awesome Kong beat her up and be like, you dumb
You cheating
bitch.
Right.
Yeah, like that's how you do it, and then you have her killer, and then you move on in the program or whatever you're gonna do.
Well, she has murdered all her friends, so you might as well murder her at this point.
Yeah, it was just a very odd way to do all of that. It was just very, very weird. I didn't really understand it, but whatever. We'll move on.
We get, I believe, interview number 2 with Mr. JB of the
JB
main event
Jeremy Borash.
foursome there. We have speaking with excuse me, He says, he's speaking with Sting here. He says Angle, Foley, and Jarrett all have important things on the line, obviously, as does Sting. But he says he believes Sting has the most important thing on the line, which is his career, of course. Sting says he always knew it was inevitable that the TNA crowd would see him have his final match. But he said it will not be, which obviously, the fuck. Yeah, no, he's just never going to have his last match. But he says it won't be tonight because he put his career on the line on purpose because he thrives under pressure. And tonight he'll have the most pressure he's ever had in his career. And he said it's showtime because he'll walk out as the TNA World Champion.
Woo! It is kind of crazy that 15 years later he actually had his last match.
And I also have a quibble here where Sting is he can't really, he just wanted to win the match, obviously, in the main event. Everybody wants to win the main event. But he says he just keeps talking about being the TNA World Champion, and he didn't even try to pin the TNA World Champion in the main event.
And we'll get there. Don't worry, I have a lot to say about that. But anyway, yeah, we move on here. I believe it is Samoa
Joseph versus Kevin Nash.
Big sexy.
So it lasted 8 minutes and 1 second, Josh.
Big main event mafia. Kevin Nash, we should note. And this was a cool version of Samoa Joe. He had like the tribal paint.
Because he's Samoan, Josh.
Ah, yes. He had like that all over his face. He was kind of like a killer. He just wanted to fuck Kevin Nash up, really.
He still kind of is like that, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, you're not wrong. I had one note of this whole match. It's not a spot. It's not anything like that. It is that, why is Kevin Nash wrestling in the year 2009?
It's a good question. It's a great
because
question,
he was not moving great. I'm not trying to be a bitch. I don't even hate Kevin Nash.
Not like blaming him either.
No, it's just his nature of the beast. He's had 64 surgeries in his quads at this stage. So yeah, and he's just a big guy and he's like older. And credit to Joe, because I don't think this match was horrible, but just the way that Kevin was moving, and then I'm like,
very slow paced match. And you could tell by the finish almost looked like Kevin Nash actually fell asleep. Like he was just tired.
Yeah. I nearly did too, brother.
Joe did the coquina clutch. Did they call it the coquina clutch back then? I don't.
Yeah.
Remember. But yeah. And then after the bell went off, Kevin Nash goes. He just starts while he's holding him in the clutch, so just drilling him with his other elbow.
I know he's beating the shit out of you.
What'd you say?
He gets really beaten up. Like he's fucking.
Nash gets bloodied up. Referees and security come in. Joe stops the hold, chucks them out, and then just starts getting back on top of Nash and drilling him with elbows again. And he just kind of decides to stop. He's like, all right, I'm bored now. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. There's nothing really noteworthy of that match, to be honest.
No, we do get the workhorse. Our girl is in the next segment.
I know, Lauren, a business girlfriend.
Yeah, talking with Team 3D, of course, Bully Ray and Devon. Because the Team 3D Invitational Finals are going up after this segment, Josh. So Bully says he believes Beer Money is the second best tag team in the company, behind them, of course. And he says he hopes Beer Money beats Magnus and Doug Williams' quote British asses. Devon doesn't say a single word until the end. By the way, it was so sick. Yeah, takes
British asses.
Say that. I put that in quotes. I literally wrote. Bully says he hopes Beer Money beats Magnus and Doug Williams, and I quote, British asses, in quotes. That's what I have.
Lovely. I love hearing that.
And then Devon testifies, of course, at the end. And that's the only word he said in the entire segment. Yeah.
Yep.
So that brings us to the Team 3D Invitational Finals. Beer Money, of course, James Storm and Mr. Robert Roode taking on the British Invasion of Doug Williams and Magnus, a.k.a. Nick Aldis, WWE's general manager. They have Rob Terry at ringside as well, by the way.
By the way, Nick Aldis, and I don't mean this as a knock because he's obviously a giant man now, but he was looking small here. But he was still big. Like, he was still big, but he was small.
Like slim, muscular, not like...
Yeah, he was like toned.
Like builder muscle.
Yeah. I was just noting that, and I was like, is he also 15 years old in this match? Because he looks so young.
Yes, that's true. But...
What a crazy time, by the way. I was looking here and I'm like, in a few years, mate, you're getting married to Mickie James.
And then you become the NWA World Champion against Cody, and then you become the WWE General Manager. Like, what a weird trajectory.
What a weird journey this man has.
Not a bad one, pretty solid.
He's winning. I mean, at the end of the day, he's married to Mickie James. He's doing all right.
Right, not bad.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Yes, rest in Mickey James has died. All of beautiful people have died.
Yeah, they're
A
all
lot of
dead.
people have died in this.
Yeah, Trains and Awesome
Although, to
Kong.
be fair, Mickey James is still alive for a few more years at this point. She's got about, what,
Yeah, but I mean,
5 more years left, something like that.
But I mean, I'm just talking in memoriam in the year
she's been
2025.
dead
Rest
for
in
11
peace.
years.
10 years.
10 years. Wow, Beer Money end up getting a good little back and forth for about 10 minutes here. Rob Terry gets kicked out at ringside for just trying to interfere and yapping at the referee the whole time. Rob Terry, massive, by the way. I forgot how big he was.
Huge man, can't move a muscle though. He's just like
moves like Kevin Nash, but 20 years younger than him.
He's like walking around like this.
Big. He's too big. He can't move.
He's like trying to like obviously we'll go into the finish, but when he pulls the ref out, he's like,
yes.
And I'm like, here comes this fucking giant man that can't move. I mean, let's be completely honest here. I don't mean to be any insensitive to anyone, but just loves some juice, loves the fucking roids.
Oh, yeah, please.
I mean, if you ever tell me that man has never taken a steroid in his entire life, I will drop dead in this very instant. Like, that's not. Don't even talk to me about that.
But yeah, it was a good back and forth. 10 minutes 44 seconds it lasted. Beer Money get the win. We have I guess British Invasion stole the Feast or Fire briefcase from Hernandez in LAX a couple of weeks back, they said.
I don't know. I got lost in this, I'm not going to lie.
They stole we talked about the Feast and Fire thing in a past episode because it was pretty prevalent to that episode. But it was still around, years later at that point. But it's newly kind of
Is it still around now? I don't even know.
I don't think so. I'm not sure, though. But they stole it from Hernandez, who was the rightful owner of he won the match a couple weeks ago. And so Doug Williams tries to toss it in the ring to hit Storm with it, but Rude sneaks up behind him, takes it from him, wallops him in the head with it. Storm pins him for the 3 count. Then Team 3D comes down and celebrates with him. Team 3D looked like they were like teasing an attack, but they were just joking and kind of high-fived them. And then
I was like, thank God, not another post-match beatdown.
Yeah.
I was like, holy hell.
Yep.
I was like, I actually thought the match. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the match of the night that I paid attention to the least, because I was just doing other things when this was on.
Sure.
But I caught like the last like few minutes of it. I thought it was cooking, to be honest.
Picked up in the last couple of minutes. Last 2
I was like, this is fun, yeah. Beer Money are a great tag team. Like
every tag team with like the noted like 8 or 9 tag teams that kind of wrestled in every tag team match of TNA in this. It was like a baseline of like a B match. Like it was never going to be garbage.
Yeah. Beer Money are a really good tag team. For anyone that didn't watch Beer Money in their heydays, suggest you do, because, I mean, both of them, more so Bobby Roode, people were like, Bobby Roode's going to WWE at some stage. Obviously, he eventually did, but not in his, like, heyday of, like, he should be, he just looked like a Vince guy.
A little short, though, maybe, for Vince.
But he was big enough.
Oh, he was massive.
He was big enough.
This was also before James Storm became a murderer and killed Mickey James, to be fair. So.
Oh yeah, that's Mickey James's murderer in the ring fighting her husband.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh my God, I didn't even put it together.
TNA doesn't long-term book, buddy.
Yeah, that's like under the surface booking right there. He's like, one day I'm gonna kill your wife. I'm gonna kill your wife. I'm gonna kill your wife that you haven't even met yet.
You tried to hit me with a briefcase 5 years ago. I'm killing your wife.
I'm picking out that girl that's in WWE right now, that Mickey James girl. And one day I'm gonna kill her, and it's gonna be your wife. And he's like, brother, what?
We got another main event participant segment, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's Mr. 4-time TNA World Champion Kurt Angle.
By the way, this is Kurt Angle. I believe I talked about this when we watched like the Vegas episode with Kurt Angle, but this is like Kurt Angle that I wouldn't want to run into because he's just like fucking.
And he says he doesn't like this term, but Kurt Angle's not listening to this, and if he is, I'm sorry, Kurt. This is prime Perk Angle. This is prime Perk Angle.
Yeah, it really is. Holy hell! Yeah.
Everything he does is to the nth degree of just crazy.
And just terrifying. Like, if you walked up to him and he was like, I'm going to punch you in the face, you would be like, oh, no.
Yeah, please don't.
Please don't. But he's, like, peeking too. He's, like, fucking traps and that. And
he's doing weight while, like, the whole show.
I was like, no. Yeah, this is terrifying.
Pretty terrifying.
His, like, eyes are, like, popping out. He's, like, fucking... Yeah, he's, like... I mean, just... Yeah, he could, like, wrestle a leaf at this stage. And it would be like, whoa, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, it was hectic.
But Jeremy asks him if he as an Angle can envision a world where he is not the leader of the main event mafia, because that is, of course, Angle Sacrifice in the main event. If he loses, he will not be. If he gets pinned, he will not be the main event mafia leader. He says he's always been in control and will continue to be so tonight, and will make sure that he keeps his spot as the leader of the main event mafia, and will also become a 5-time TNA World Champion. So again, another guy that is only focused on pinning Mick Foley, doesn't care about the rest of the people in the match apparently, but.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever. Sure. Well, we will get to that very soon, actually. We will get to that. We have our last match before that match. Not our last segment, though, but AJ Styles takes on Booker T in an I Quit match for the Legends title, which AJ Styles has coming into the match, by the way. We talked about this on the episode of Booker T introducing the Legends title, actually, Josh.
yes, this is my favorite version of Booker T. This is when he's talking in that accent. He's fucking just crazy. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Booker T. I don't know whose idea, but it's just
when he
fucked.
Introduced the title, Josh, what he kept saying?
What was the word he kept saying in that fucking segment?
You said it about 100 times.
Respect! Yeah. Respect!
The Legends title will be all about respect, Josh.
Respect.
Respect. And he said it in like,
it was off camera.
British accent. Yeah.
It was off camera. Respect.
The camera's on, I think, Hulk, I believe, and you just hear respect in the background.
It was on Kurt.
Oh, yeah, but the camera was just not on him. You just hear it for the background. Yeah, just 14 times during the promo. But
it's so good. But so AJ Styles, I mean, at this point, even probably arguably still to this day in a sense, just like, what the fuck does he do wrong inside that ring? It is just crisp, flawless. I genuinely, watching this, I don't know what came over me. This wasn't even his best match ever. Holy shit, no. But there was just something about the way he moved. I'm like, he is the greatest wrestler of all time. If you're just talking about like pure, like showman story, just like what a true pro wrestler is, to me, he's just like everything. He's like Shawn Michaels on acid. He's just like, well, Shawn Michaels was on acid.
He's on Shawn Michaels on whatever Kurt Angle was taking during the show.
Or whatever Shawn was taking in 1997, to be fair, because fuck me, it probably was acid. But
at least
it's just like, he's just so crisp. It's just crazy. He was just over as Rover 2. You hear that "Get Ready to Fly," and you're like, it's just, I just don't understand how that wasn't the dude that just was with TNA forever, and he was just like the guy. Yeah, it's just crazy. He's really good.
We talked about it as, again, you're watching this about 24 hours before you're watching this. He is in a title match 16 years later at SummerSlam.
And he's in probably one of the best shapes of his life. He can still do 80% of what he could do then.
I would say he's at worst the top 20 wrestler in the world right now.
Worse. And that's a stretch too.
That's my point, though. Like nobody else could even pretend to argue worse than 20. I'm saying
he's just. I mean, what the hell? And listen, we're on the tail end of AJ Styles. Has made it very abundantly clear that he is not wrestling past 50 years old. This man is 49, so And I
believe he signed a 1-year extension with WWE, so I think that coincides with him being 50.
So like. It's just crazy that we are at the tail end of his time. He's just one of, as a TNA person, I'm not always going to lean on that over you or anything like that. I don't mean it in this sense. But like as a TNA guy, AJ Styles was the wrestler. There was just no one better than him. And it's just like, what the fuck? It'll be a sad day when AJ Styles does hang it up for all of us. I mean, even for non-TNA people, it was like, what's TNA? I know AJ Styles. I know who AJ Styles is.
I tell you, I know of like the beautiful people, funnily enough. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, like Awesome Kong, I guess, and Gail Kim.
Yeah.
Like, those are like the
But you know AJ is what
but yeah.
It's just like
AJ's number one for me. Like
it's just like, what the hell? I mean, this match was fine. I personally don't like I Quit matches. They're not my favorite. It's like
this match, Josh.
I Quit matches, last man standing matches, they've never really done it for me. I think they're very stop-start. Like, it's just not my... Not to say they're all bad, but this was a perfect example of why I don't really like them that much. But Um,
11.
please explain the finish. Explain the finish.
So, Jenna from the Main Event Mafia, Josh. Kevin
Which is,
Nash's girlfriend.
yeah, Kevin Nash's girlfriend, Jenna.
And by the way, Booker T and Sharmell are also in the Main Event Mafia at this point. So it's
Yes.
theoretically his stablemate. Jenna
Yes.
rushes down to the ring as AJ has Booker T in an armbar in the bottom right corner of the ring. She comes out and just chucks a white towel in the ring, which if anybody plays sports or anything else, that means you're giving up or you're telling your partner, your teammate, your whatever that you're giving up on their behalf because you think they're gonna die or whatever. Obviously, it was just an armbar. It was nothing. It wasn't like he had a concerto ready to break his neck, anything of the like. Yeah. So the referee takes the towel, rings the bell, and Booker T looks confused. Sharmell is just screaming at Jenna. And then yeah, it's really everybody. Booker T looks pissed off. AJ's like happy, but looks kind of confused too. Yeah, that's how the match ends. Jenna just throws the towel.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, Jenna is Jenna from Survivor. She is in just a little while in TNA history. She has a match with Sharmell that is widely perceived as one of the worst wrestling matches of all time. I will leave it at that because one day, myself and CJ will cover that very match I believe it's on pay-per-view of all things.
Oh, good.
Jenna from Survivor versus Sharmell. And CJ, if you've never seen that match,
I haven't.
you will watch that match and you will think, I'm confident that you will think any wrestling match that you've ever seen is better than it. It is truly one of the worst worked matches I have ever seen.
I don't know if I want to watch it, Josh.
Oh, you do. Trust me, you do.
Do I?
I have watched it multiple times in my life, and every single time, somehow, it gets fucking worse. And I don't understand how that is even possible, but it does. But yes, it is Jenna from Survivor who is the financial backer of the main event mafia. That's her kind of gimmick. She's with Kevin Nash, but like that's what her kind of thing is. But this
Why
is
is
all
she
leading to
so rich in kayfabe? Did she win Survivor?
Yes.
I think every single person in the Main Event Mafia probably has more money than she does.
Sure.
No offense
But
to her.
that's the thing with this, and then yeah, it's leading into, and listen, no offense to Charmel, but it's not like she's a fucking worker.
No.
So
I do like
God
Charmel.
bless. We will get to that at some stage, but that is that match. Because do we need to talk about anything else with that match?
No, we can move on to our last segment before our main event. Mick Foley now, of course, it's time for him to talk with Jeremy Borash because everybody else has. Borash says everybody in tonight's main event has something to lose, but also can gain the world title, which is obviously Mick Foley cannot gain that. All he can gain really, this is not in the interview, but all he can gain really is becoming the main event mafia leader. Like nothing else has to do with him. Oh, you could get Jeff Jarrett's vote with the board, I guess.
Yeah, and he could take away Sting's career.
But he says that. He says he would love to be the one that ends Sting's career. He would love to be in the main event mafia, or lead the main event mafia. He would love to be Jeff Jarrett's boss. But his most important thing that he wants to do is keep the TNA world title.
Okay.
And that leads into the main event.
Now we're going into the main event. We can actually break this down a little bit. Let me just remind you again of what everyone is sacrificing here at Sacrifice. So,
and they have to get pinned to lose these things as well.
Yes, so I'm going to explain it in this way. If Sting got pinned, he would leave TNA. If Angle got pinned, the person who pinned him would gain ownership of the main event mafia. If Foley got pinned, the person who pinned him would become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And if Jeff Jarrett got pinned, he would lose his voting power, his ownership, or whatever you want to call it, of TNA Wrestling. So everyone is sacrificing something. So this is technically not a TNA World Heavyweight Championship match in a sense, because not whoever wins gets the title. Before we actually get into the match and the finish and all of that, if you were watching TNA at the time, say you're watching the Go Home episode to Sacrifice, and they were explaining this, would 13-year-old you be okay with this? Would you be excited about this?
Just the stipulation?
Yeah, of everyone putting up something.
Yes, only if it was you. If you lose it no matter what. Not if you had to be pinned. I don't like that. I like you have to win. You get all of them, but if you lose whatever you were putting up.
So you would prefer it if it was just all on the line. Whoever
Yeah, like
wins.
if Sting got pinned. So if Sting gets pinned, Mick Foley would still be the world champion. I want if Kurt Angle pins Sting, he still wins the world title. He still
So
takes
you want it
the
to be a
board.
world title match with all of these other bits and pieces. So you're not really into the idea then, is what
No.
you're getting at.
I'm into
Okay.
the idea, but not really, no.
I don't think I'm into it either. It's hard to say, but I think it's a little bit too convoluted. It's just a little bit like, okay, so when the finish actually did happen, I was like, so what happens now? I'm like,
yes, exactly.
It just made wrestling shouldn't make you think. I think is what I'm getting at. It really shouldn't be that hard to think about. It was just it was very WCW, like end of WCW. It felt very just like, what is going on here? Which makes sense because I think Vince Russo was still here at this point. So it makes kind of sense that something crazy like this is that actually makes sense for a lot of the show. Then now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah. Okay, I think it went about 14 minutes or something like that. I think that's
56.
Okay, so nearly 15 minutes. It's four guys who, I mean, Kurt's probably still in his quote-unquote prime. Sting is arguable. I mean, you could probably say Sting is kind of he's still rocking and rolling. I mean, he's still moving pretty fucking well in this. Foley...
He's on the Kevin Nash spectrum there.
Foley should not be wrestling. He can't even... I mean, bless his heart, he's done a lot in his career. And I'm a Mick Foley guy. He's one of my favorites ever. But... Homeboy couldn't even get up properly without using the ropes for assistance to actually stand up. He shouldn't be wrestling. Jeff Jarrett, I mean, Jarrett can still kind of wrestle now. It's kind of weird. But Jeff Jarrett has always just kind of wrestled the same to me. So
he doesn't rely on his athleticism, speed, or power. So you can and he doesn't like take beatings in his matches.
No,
so
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, right.
He really what I'm getting at is that Mick Foley should not be anywhere near a wrestling ring. I mean, post 2007
like 7 or 8 years at this point.
Yeah. Like he's put his body through a lot. You don't need to be doing this, my guy.
The
like,
Edge WrestleMania match should have been his swan song.
Yeah, he had a few good matches after that, but
yeah, the one night stand maybe.
Oh, that 6-person. Whatever the fuck. Oh my god, that spear at the end where Edge spears fucking
Beulah,
and then just
like humps her.
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, wrestling is absolutely wild.
That match is amazing. I don't care what anybody says.
It fucking was it's one of my favorite matches ever. It is so crazy when
we kind of like the same wrestling, weirdly.
We like really stupid stuff or really like just fucking great stuff.
Yeah,
if there's no in between. I don't like middle of the road wrestling. That does nothing for me. I like when it's really, 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 really good.
Or like embarrassing.
Horseshit bad. You'll probably enjoy Jenna versus Sharmell because you'll be like,
I kind of like women's wrestling more than men's wrestling for the most part too.
I do. I always have. But
they just try harder, kind of, it seems like.
I don't know, they're always fighting from underneath, and it's like, yes.
You can tell what they're wrestling like as it's like the underdog team tries harder than like the all-star team.
Yeah, always will. But I'll run down the finish of this match here because I kind of didn't mind it, not to steal your thunder, but so, you know, shamambles of a four-way. There's always shit going on. Everyone's hitting their shit. We got to the finish, and there's a chair positioned in the center of the ring, like seated. So like you're going to sit on it. But Angle and Jarrett go up to the second rope and Jeff Jarrett does the stroke off the top rope to the chair, knocks out Angle, rolls away, Sting slides in, pins while Jarrett's still getting his senses. And he's like, wait, what? Sting gets the win over Angle, which means he becomes the leader of the main event Mafia. Mick Foley keeps his world title, Jeff Jarrett keeps his voting power, and Sting keeps his career. I liked the actual finish itself. I liked the way like the stroke happened, and I didn't even mind the way that Sting got the pin and like Jarrett. It wasn't like a roll away. Jarrett was like, by the time that he gained his senses from like doing the move, Sting, and he was nearly there, and he was like, wait, Sting just I didn't mind all that. I just think out of all four of the sacrifices, the Kurt Angle one was the least
Important.
impactful one. Impact.
Uh-huh.
Impactful one of the four. Even though I know what it leads to and whatever with the main event Mafia, but I just think out of all of it, it just seemed like the one with the least gusto.
I have one spot I just want to bring up. Foley got on commentary.
Oh yeah.
And then Angle did his "What the fuck you on crack" yell, and then
Yeah.
just did a fucking front somersault right in
I-
Mick Foley's face. Right,
Yeah,
and knocked
it's the
everybody out.
gif. It's the fucking gif
It's
that
the
goes
one where
around.
he yells. Yeah, it's the Kirk Angle scream that everybody calls
And
it.
he goes, yeah!
And then there's a front flip right into Mick Foley, balls to the face somersault.
It's that.
And
It's that. It's the yell.
Yeah, it's the yell. I just had to point that. That was my favorite. I had that spot written down. It was my favorite.
Yeah, but I didn't necessarily think this match was actually. I didn't think it was great, but I did think
It's not
it was
an AJ
bad.
Styles. It's good in the opposite AJ Styles trade.
Yeah, it was a four-way, protected who it needed to protect, man.
All kinds of shit. It was never boring. Like there was always something happening.
Yeah, and I liked the finish. It just was like, okay, Kurt lost, whatever.
Right, you wanted to see Sting to lose as the wow factor or a new champion.
Yeah, even Jared losing his voting power, I think, could have been. I mean, he would have probably.
He talks about it though.
And I mean, in a week, he would have had it back anyway because it's TNA at that
or
point.
Or he would have just like bought someone else off the board and got a different.
Yeah, something like whatever. But I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It was four of the biggest stars in wrestling ever. Four of them. I'm not saying the four biggest stars.
Top 20 or 10.
Yeah, like is it questionable that some of these men should be wrestling in 2009? Yes. Sure, but like. Whatever. There's worse.
Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah.
Like, there's worse, so whatever. Who cares? Overall, I didn't think this show was bad.
No.
I didn't waste my time except for the Suicide Daniels shit. That pissed me off. But I didn't waste my time. I didn't regret watching this or anything like that. My random choice worked this time. It won't work other times, but yeah, I thought it was fine. I probably thought the match I enjoyed the most was, honestly, I like the opener.
Yeah.
I like the opener the most. Yeah, there's nothing to sing home about or anything like that, but I thought it was a nice way to spend 3 hours.
Well, compared to the last episode you made me watch, this was prime WrestleMania territory.
Yeah, exactly. So. Don't worry, we'll have a lot more of those.
I'm gonna try everything in my being not to watch this Dennis Charmel match until you make.
Please don't.
I
please
don't.
don't.
You have my word.
Yeah, we'll watch it soon. It might even be the next. I don't know. We might even do it next. I don't know, but I want.
You don't know what it's on. Like, is it on an episode or a pay-per-view?
I think it's on pay-per-view, but
I'm
just
gonna Google where it is. I'm not gonna watch it. I promise.
I think it's on Victory Road. It might even be the next pay-per-view. It could be on an episode of Impact.
Road 09.
Yeah, I think it is the next pay-per-view. Yeah, I think it's Victory Road. So, we'll watch that at some stage, but yeah, leave it for the first. I want your. Yeah, I don't want you to watch it and then analyze it and then watch it again. Also, I don't want you to watch it again because I don't want to put.
I wish you could watch me watch it. I would watch it live on here.
Yeah, watch it live. We could probably work that out at some stage to do that, and you can watch it with me because I would probably not even watch the match because.
Yeah, on a slow no big weekend. We could do maybe a live retro watch along type of bullshit.
Yeah, we could try and do that at some stage. We'll work something out, but regardless of anything, it will be talked about on this show at some stage because obviously we're covering all the best and the worst of TNA, and that might be the worst of the worst in terms of just I don't even think it's, honestly, if we're being honest here, I don't even think it's so bad that it's good. It's just so bad that it's terrible.
I'm just looking up Victory Road 09. I want to see how long it was.
It was probably 3 hours. It's usually there.
It was 6 minutes.
Oh, I thought you meant the whole show.
Oh my God, that match was 6 minutes. That's double the match the length of the Monsters Ball we just watched.
I know, it's crazy. But anyway, friends, that'll do us for this week's episode of Impact Intact. We hope you enjoyed this one as much as the last one. CJ, we got some things happening on the Hive. You and JPJ, starting this very week here on the Hive, are now Wednesdays and Saturdays. The Wednesday show will now be your wrestling show, and the Saturday show will now be your sports show. They drop at 5 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time on their respective release days, as does this show now drop at 5 p.m. All of our podcasts drop at that time. Now, that is very early morning for you guys in the States. It's like midday for you guys in the UK. So if you're in the States and you're like, you wake up on a Wednesday, it's up. It's ready for you to enjoy and listen to every single week, whatever day it drops. So make sure to catch up. But for Australian friends, it is Central Standard Time. So Central Time here it's Adelaide time, everybody. So if you're in Eastern Time, just add the half hour and you're all good. So you can catch them every single day on their release days at 5 p.m. The Buzz is every single day. We've just had Carter Deems last week. Make sure to go and check that one out. The full episode. Yeah, he's got a really good story. Jamie does a really good job with The Buzz. So The Buzz drops every single day at midday, Australian Central Standard Time, Monday to Thursday, with the full episodes dropping on our YouTube on Friday. So make sure to catch that every single week here. Got lots of stuff going on the Substack with Peggy's back now on the Substack doing the gaming reviews. We've got DC doing MLB every single Sunday or Monday morning. We've got Bryn, who does all of her wrestling stuff, and then I'm on Substack as well.
You gave a review of the great new documentary that just dropped.
Yeah, WWE Unreal. That all dropped, and I gave her like a quick little rundown of that. I actually kind of enjoyed that show.
I loved it.
I didn't think it was necessarily real, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't give a fuck either. The editing of it was just like, I had a boner for the edit. The way they edited that Rumble
on the show we just recorded, it was porn.
The editing of those Rumbles, I was like, how are you doing this? How is this? I don't understand how this is being done.
What was your reaction when Bill, or whatever his name was, suggested that Chelsea Green won the Rumble when no one else was in the match?
Oh, I shat my pants.
Yeah, I was like, Josh is screaming right now.
I shat my pants. I was like, why didn't you? I was like, Triple H, say yes!
Josh wants to come to the screen and hug that guy.
I was like, holy shit! Even though I know it doesn't happen, I was like, say yes!
Not the worst idea. Not the worst idea.
We've had fucking worse ideas. Watch the TNA fucking
or watch the Rumble
Sea of Suicide. The whole Rumble was. But anyway, we digress. There's a lot of stuff here on the Hive, so make sure to catch it. We've got content pretty much every single day in forms of podcasts, written articles, some kind of social media clip, videos, or my Twitch stream. So make sure to come hang out for that. The watch parties are done at this stage for SummerSlam, so thank you for hanging out. Or if you didn't, eat my shit.
But we do it for every PLE and AEW pay-per-view.
Yes.
So
make sure to come hang out for that. So the next lot that we will do will be Forbidden Door, which I will not be on because it airs at like 2 a.m. my time. So JPJ will be taking the reins of that one more than likely, or Peggy. I'm not sure. Someone will tell me what's going on there. I think there's an NXT show that night, which I will probably do. I don't really know. It depends on when it kind of airs and where it is.
Oh, someone will be doing it as the point.
For the most part, and then Clash in Paris, I know that I won't be on because it's on at 2 a.m. So I won't be on those ones. I actually won't be on the next lot of watch parties. SummerSlam is my last one, and then it's Perth. So I won't be on, but stay tuned because it's going to be busy, regardless of whether Lil Josh gets media access or not. Don't stress. There's still going to be a lot of content dropping for Crown Jewel because I'll be doing vlogs. While I'm in Perth for 6 days. I'm going to be doing vlogging and I'm going to be doing other stuff to keep myself busy for those 6 days in fucking the worst city in the world.
So what's busy as a beat?
Yeah, well, biz. It's all going to go down. It's all going to go down. But you know where to find us. CJ is just on Twitter. His handle's on the screen. You can find me everywhere at my handle on the screen. Make sure to follow the Hive at @thehive_media. It is _the_media on Instagram because someone had to take the fucking tag on that one, so just to be annoying. But you can just go to our link tree. It's all in the description below, whether you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple. Make sure to rate us 5 stars if you're listening on the podcast side of things. It does help the algorithm gods if you do that. So make sure to go do that. And comment below on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, all of that kind of good stuff. We're about to hit, I think, 1,200 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure to keep it all moving and shaking and doing all the things. I think that's all that I got to plug. Don't think there's anything else. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Monday-itis. It's the start of the working week. Yuck. But this is the perfect way to start your every other week is with us here on iMPACT Intact. Anything you want to add, CJ, before we fucking get out of here?
No, I think you covered it all. Literally content every single day, night or morning, wherever the hell you're living at here on Live. And Josh streams almost every night at this point. So,
unfortunately, yes. I'm always doing some bullshit on there. Some people will like watch me in the morning my time, and then I'm doing another stream at night, and they're like, "Are you still live?" I'm like, "No, I have done other things. You're just catching me."
18-hour stream.
I do other things. I unfortunately have a job. But hey, friends, if someone wants to pay me every single week to do this, I'll quit my job now. I'll do it right now.
He'll quit it tonight when he goes.
I'll quit right now. So if you want to pay me, just my DMs are open everywhere. All ears. So go ahead. All right, friends. You have a good rest of your night, day, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay pretty, stay safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of iMPACT Intact. Goodbye.